What's up guys, MikeCoco back here, bringing you guys a new video on the week 3 patch, I think, for September. This patch actually changed quite a few things in terms of rewards, which makes a big difference in how both free-to-play and pay-to-play players play the game. That's something I do want to discuss, but also like the other content in this update. I want to talk a little bit about that. So first off, two new heroes. Again, one mythic season and then one non-mythic. The mythic season is God Tales. It's pretty much the same thing we've been seeing in terms of all the new mythic season heroes. It's a sword user this time with a permanent attack up for sword users and increased attack damage and increased damage to bosses. Again, you don't see the critical ability to provide self crit on any of these heroes. As for if he's good, I mean, he's pretty much the same. Pretty much all the new Mythic Season heroes are very similar. They provide the permanent attack up for their respective weapon. They have an attack up for X amount of turns. They have boss damage, and they have like critical damage with their costume or something like that. The only one that doesn't follow this kind of template would be what's her face? Deiji, and I think maybe this guy or someone. Actually, no, he follows the same. So in the future, we get I think two more heroes or another hero that is Mythic Season and doesn't follow the same template. But otherwise, you're gonna see pretty much the same template copy pasted over and over again. You know, attack up, boss damage. It's just a difference in what weapon they use and what area their skill hits. So not too much there. The new non-mythic hero is, let's see if I can find it. I don't like this new system where they took out all the seasons because it's so hard to filter now, because now they're all considered the same season. So this guy in Chinese, Zhuge Liang, he's like, I'm pretty sure he's like some like war hero or something. That's what I learned when I was little, but his skill is essentially a knockoff Pioneer. It doubles Fury consumption for 2 turns, increases, or his next hit is guaranteed critical, and increases or prevents critical hits in a cross. So very similar to Pioneer. Let me just take a look at where he is. Pioneer's skill is very similar. The only difference is that part of Pioneer's skill is a mythic skill, while the new hero has it as a like a usable skill. So yeah, boosts attack, reduces fury consumption by 50%, which is, I guess you could say, it's like the opposite, because Liang does increase fury consumption, which is kind of, it's not exactly the same, but it's somewhat similar. You get increased attack and defense for I think a small boost, like 20 or 30%. In a yeah, 20 to 30% for self boost, which is, I guess, it's almost equivalent to a critical, guaranteed critical. You could debate if they're similar, and obviously the myth skill itself is prevent critical hits in a cross, which is what Liang's skill does as well. And the only disadvantage to this is that his skill can be debuffed, while Pioneers can't, because it's a mythic skill. You cannot debuff mythic skills. So pretty much, in my opinion, he's a knockoff Pioneer. He even uses the same weapon as a gun type. And yeah, a knockoff version only works with gun users. So, I mean, if you really need a Pioneer, you should get him. But at this point, he could be decent for PvP, but only if you run gun users, because he's knockoff only for heroes in a cross. Actually, it's not even a cross, is it? It's all the heroes, so it's debatable whether or not it's actually better than Pioneer, because Pioneer forces a cross formation, which is sort of dangerous in arena, because you pretty much expose yourself to column hits, 3x3s, and rows. The fact that this doesn't rely on a specific formation, I guess, makes it debatable if it's good or not. If you run a very gun-heavy team, I can definitely see him being put to use in PvP. But yeah, that's my opinion on the new hero. The Other thing is the new event, which is pretty much the ability to descent, Mythic Descent and Legendary Descent, with a cooldown of 1 day only. So, in my opinion, I would definitely go for the Mythic Descent because Legendary Descent now costs way too much. It's all 4k essence. And if you gather enough essence, you'll probably pull them anyway. But I guess you could go for Legendary Descent if you want. Mythic Descent is probably the more useful one because it's very hard to descent with Mythic Descent because I think you have to wait longer. It's a full 30 days, especially because Elixirs of Descent only reduce the cooldown by half a day for each elixir. So Mythic Descent is probably what you want to focus on. As you can see, I'm already running low on Legendary Essence and Dragonheart. I actually spent all my Essence before the patch, which is, you know, it's just bad timing. But yeah, definitely do take advantage of that. The heroes I would go for Mythic first are any hero that has like a useful attack boost. I would go for those. If you're running low on gold, definitely go descent some multi-millionaires. And if you're PvP heavy, go for like Kunoichi if you haven't Mythic Descended her yet. So pretty much just focus on the important ones. The less important ones like reduce damage, I think, to enemy from enemies, or maybe like, I don't know what else is common. Boss damage is, or shield, yeah, don't go for shield because that's really not useful. Activation chance is debatable. I like it, a lot of people don't. So Phoenix is also a good one to learn. And my opinion, I would go for descenting first and then upgrading later because you can upgrade the skill anytime as long as you have the Dragon Hearts, but you're not able to Mythic Descent anytime. So definitely prioritize descenting. So don't rank up the Myth skill to like level 4 and then descend another hero. Just get it to level 1, just ignore it, and then descend your next hero. Because that way you're gonna get the Dragon Hearts anyway. You might as well go for descenting all of them first and then upgrading it after. Okay, so with that aside, I want to talk about the new rewards. So 2 of the rewards in the 2 of the 3 rewards in the 3 game. Okay, let me rephrase that. 2 of the game modes have changed rewards out of the 3 game modes available. Arena and Mythic Raid. If you look at the rewards now, they took out all the hearts. They took out all the, I think, old glittering or old mythic medals, replaced them with soul gem only. So pretty much depending on your rank, you're gonna be able to get soul gem. And of course, this is a very good change. Initially, I thought this was a very good change. And then I was on the forum, some people were talking about how it affects lower level players. And I started to see their point of view, but then I checked the actual shop and the details and the stuff you can buy from the shop. And I came back to the opinion that it's a definitely good update pretty much for all level players, even if you're low level or mid level. And I'll explain a little bit why later. But essentially, you get soul gems from Mythic Raid, and you also get soul gems from, where is it, Arena. And we finally have a use to having this like percentage system. Based on which percentage you are in the rank, you'll get a higher number of soul gems or fewer amount of soul gems. So pretty much what, like, the usual number of soul gems is like 280. That's like the usual cost for a hero or a costume, so that's pretty much what you want to be aiming for. So if you get like master and I think top 200 in arena, or top 200 in Mythic Raid, and you get to master in arena, I think you get around like, I think somewhere around 300 soul gems a week, which is not bad. It's pretty much like 30 bucks that you can spend. So yeah, it's a good update. The reason why, and a lot of people were skeptical, and I understand now why they were skeptical. With the loss of soul gems, or with the loss of hearts, because soul gems have replaced hearts, people are wondering, you know, how am I going to get costumes? How am I going to get rune essence? In my opinion, if you want to efficiently use your hearts, you should only be spending it on 2 things: costumes and rune essence, because those are the only 2 things that you cannot really farm. Everything else is farmable. Rune stones, gold, rune powder. What else is in the consumable tab? I don't even know. This stuff, that's farmable. Oh, I mean, you can't buy that for hearts anyway. Dragon hearts also farmable. So pretty much the only thing that's not farmable is rune essence and costumes. So when people talk about, you know, oh, we lost hearts, how are we gonna get costumes now? The Chrono Store does actually provide hearts. I think someone on the forums posted what the maximum conversion rate. I think it's like 160 hearts for like, or 160 soul gem or 80 soul gem for like 3,200 hearts or something. So it's like a 4 times exchange rate, which is absolutely brilliant. That's like 80 soul gems is not that hard to get, I think, and 3,200 hearts is pretty much like 1.5 costumes. So of course, if you're free to play, you only have 2 slots unlocked in the chrono, which, you know, it's slightly less consistent because you have to wait for that deal to show up. But if you do see that deal and it'll likely have like a best over it, pick it up, because that's pretty much how you'll be getting your hearts if you lack the hearts from Arena and Mythic Raid. The old system where you have hearts in Mythic Raid, what I would say is the old system was much more consistent because you're able to get hearts every week and it was guaranteed hearts, but the rate at which you get them was still fairly slow. In this case, the consistency is down because you have to wait for the Chrono Store to actually show that offer, but potentially in 1 week you get 3,200 hearts, which is far more hearts than you can get in Arena and Mythic Raid in 1 week. So I think even though it's less consistent, it's still an improvement because soul gems are much more versatile than just hearts, because you also have access to things like Blacksmith for Raguel, Husky, costumes, and yeah, that's pretty much why the loss of hearts is not exactly a terrible thing, because you have soul gems to replace it. And if you're really desperate for hearts, I think you can buy them. Actually, no, maybe you can't buy hearts directly. Actually, you can, yeah. You can buy hearts directly with soul gems. So if you're really desperate, I wouldn't advise doing this because it's just not worth it. But if you're really desperate, like the month's almost ending, you don't have enough hearts to get the costume, this is one option. Similarly, you can also get Rune Essence for soul gem. Again, I don't recommend this. What I would recommend, use your soul gems, wait for the heart deal. Use the heart deal, you get 3,200 hearts. You can buy like God knows how much Rune Essence. Like if you pick up at the worst exchange rate, which is like 1 essence for every 2 hearts, you get like what? Wait, let me think about that. You get 1,600 Rune Essence. Yeah. So like that's pretty much more than what you can ever buy from the shop if you trade directly. So yeah, I definitely think this is an improvement. There's absolutely no loss with the introduction of soul gems. Things just get slightly less consistent, and that's literally the worst thing, and the one thing is that you do have to check your chrono a bit more often, but it will show up eventually, and if you get lucky, it can show up multiple times. So yeah, that's my opinion on the soul gem issue. One last thing for the events, the Ring Awakening event is also happening right now, so every time you awaken, it's going to be a permanent unlock in your ring. So just go ham on that nectar. Just try to get the highest percentage increase. And speaking of soul gems, the one thing that allows access to with soul gems as rewards is costumes, and specifically old costumes that you may have missed. For example, I missed DQK's costume because I picked Sorceress. I wasn't expecting to get so many myths from the arc, so I went back and got DQK's costume. If you're struggling with floor 7, you can go ahead and pick up Christine's costume if you didn't pick that up. The only thing to note is that you also need Mythic Essence, so you will have to go and dive into Tower. I'm still making this video, the Tower Abyssal Inferno. It's just I've been bottlenecked at floor 18. But I think I was at like, where's the floor where it drops Mythic Essence? You don't have to complete it that far. You can, yeah, so pretty much once you get to floor 15, which is, it's doable. It could be difficult, but I think up to 18, like 17, 18 is probably like the hardest floor in the teens floor. But you get 200 here, and I think you get another 150. Let me see. I just don't remember the rewards off the top of my head. But you need 280, so you get 50 there, and then you get another 150. So you pretty much have to get to at least floor 15, I think. Yeah, you have to get to floor 15 to get 1 costume. So do make sure that you spend your Mythic Essence wisely, because we don't get a lot in Tower or Abyssal Inferno. So if you are planning to get costumes, just make sure that you have enough and you're saving enough to get something you want. You don't want to end up in a situation where you can't get a costume because you ran out of Mythic Essence. And with the costume package in the Saint Ione event, definitely take a look at that. But yeah, I'm gonna have that's pretty much it for this video. I'm probably gonna work on the Abyssal Inferno video, and with the introduction of Soul Gems, probably talk a little bit more about the costumes and the arcs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Peace.